Does it say live in the corner?
It does, but it's not counting down.
I don't know. Is it going? It usually
Has a countdown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh, we're live. Okay, I don't know. Cool. Hey guys, Mr. Osborne here. We are going to be starting our weapons seminar for today, and that is going to be our single sanjabang. So, people that definitely should be watching this video and this seminar are all the first degrees that are doing this weapon. And remember, even if you're a first degree and you don't do a weapon, you have to do a weapon. So, absolutely, this is a great weapon to get into and learn a little bit. It's either this or the gumdo, and that one I believe is going to be on Friday. So if y'all do the gumdo, Friday?
Yes, sir.
Friday. So there you go. So for single sanjabang, we're going to be talking a lot about each of the individual moves. We're going to be going over every single one of the basics, making sure that we have it correctly, and then we will be going through the entire form really, really slowly to make sure that everybody is training correctly at home. Remember, even though if you're not coming to weapons class or anything like that now with at-home training and stuff, please make sure that you still remember to pick up your weapons and train them. Make sure y'all are doing form, especially if you're in districts or top 10 for world. Definitely pick these up. Make sure that you're still training at home, okay? Who?
The Twister's right around the corner.
The Twister. There you go. So the Texas Twister hopefully will be happening. And that y'all can rock out your sanjabang form for this, okay? And also remember, black belts, that our weapons forms are now mandatory for all of our midterms and testings. So if you're midterming for second degree or anything like that, you have to do a weapon. So let's get rocking with this one, okay? So the first thing that we're going to talk about right now is the very first three moves of the form, and that's going to be our triangles, okay? Yesterday in the double sanjabang seminar, we talked about all the moves. This move set is much smaller. It's a smaller form. So we're going to go through each of these basic moves of the form, and we'll break it down individually and talk about how we're supposed to do it, okay? So for the first move that we have is our triangle. Every single move inside this form is done in the same stance. It's done in the back stance. You want to make sure that your back stance is nice and wide. You don't have a lot of weight on the front foot, and your back knee is directly over your back foot, okay? If you're in a middle stance and you bend your knees and you're nice and wide, now my knee is above the floor. That's not correct. You want to make sure that your stance is here so that I can still lean backwards and have my knee over that back foot, okay? And that's the same stance for every single move inside this form. And you want to make sure that your back is straight for every single move. Some of the moves, you're going down to your legs, you don't want to bend over anything. So the very first move that we have is our triangle strike. When we do a triangle, it goes hip, hip, and then we roll up. 1, 2, roll up. All right. Now, I talked about this in the second degree double sanjabang seminar yesterday. A lot of single sanjabang people try to roll, and they'll straighten their arm all the way. As they do that roll, you want to make sure that you're not doing that. Keep your hand low. It doesn't extend all the way up. It's low next to your shoulder. Okay? And you want to make sure that it's only one spin. We're not doing 3 spins, right? It's one spin right up to your shoulder, okay? Now, with the triangle, you have to remember it's also a strike. So you want to make sure that you're not staying right next to your body in your own little bubble, but you're extending your arm when you do that strike. So my arm extends here, and then it resets. So the strike portion of it is that first one, and then everything else after is just getting back to reset your strike again. So that's why we do 3 of them in a row. Now, when we do it in the form, of course, we're moving forward, we're advancing to our target. So you're going to be in that back stance. The only foot that's actually going to move and pick up off the floor is your front foot. My back foot will just slide with it. So I'm here, I pick up my front leg, small step and slide, and that's when I do my triangle. And then I do it again, step and slide and strike. Step, slide, strike. Okay? So there's your triangles. The next move that we have, I actually did it reverse, but the next one we're going to talk about is our helicopter. I forgot the order of the moves apparently. So the next move is our helicopter, okay? When we do a helicopter, it's a little bit of a harder move, and it's one of the moves that a lot of people tend to mess up on. So just basics right now. If you've never done a helicopter before, this is how to kind of break it down and learn it. You're going to bring your Ssahng over your thumb side onto the back of your hand. Then you're going to let go of that first stick, rotate your hand over to grab the opposite stick, and now you're in what we call a reverse grip, okay? Now I'm going to go back to the regular grip. I'm going to throw the dangling Ssahng over my pinky side to the back of my hand, let go of the first Ssahng, rotate my hand over, and now I'm back to a normal grip. And the way you would do that, the way you would learn it first, is you go 1, 2. Now this is not the way it is done in the form. When you are doing this in the first degree Ssahng form, you're actually going to be going across your waist. So I come down like a triangle, I roll across, and I switch the sticks, and then I roll back across again, switch the sticks, and then you end up and you reset just like a triangle. Okay? So it's down like a triangle, switch sticks, throw the weapon. Let me get that. Cool. I promise you I'm good at this. Just when you're going slow, it's really easy to let go of it. So, great. Let's start over. So again, you're coming down like a triangle, you rotate over, switch sticks, and then reset just like a triangle, okay? And again, this is done, again, in a back stance. So I'm here, right hand or left hand, do both. 1, cross, 2, okay? A common mistake that a lot of first degrees make is when they do this, is they'll do the helicopter. Instead of doing it way out here, they'll do it really, really close to their stomach or their belt. So when they do it, it's not hitting the air, but it's now hitting them. I have a hard time even messing it up. So if you go close to you as you do it, you might hit yourself. You want to make sure as you do your helicopter that you extend your arm out so you're not hitting yourself as you do that helicopter, okay? So next move that we have is our V-strike, okay? V-strike is a strike, okay? A lot of people that do this weapon, they do the V-strike incorrectly. So if I'm doing my form, I'm doing the first 5 moves, and I'm moving forward, my target, my bad guy is in front of me right here. I'm striking 1, striking 2, striking 3, and then my V-strike, I'm still striking this guy. 1, 2. A lot of first degrees will mess this move up, and instead of striking this guy, they'll go this way. And they'll do the V-strike to the side of them rather than in front. You want to make sure that you're still striking in front of you. So basics on a V-strike is you start on your shoulder, you come down to your back leg, you come up to the opposite shoulder, and then down to your back leg again, and roll up, okay? But again, it's a little simpler when you're facing your target. If I'm facing sideways, of course I'm not going to do my V-strike over there like we just talked about. I want to make sure that I'm hitting my target here, here. So I turn my shoulders slightly to make sure that I hit my target properly, okay? And that is probably the biggest mistake you'll see on a V-strike. Later on, we will talk about the footwork that goes along with the V-strike. It's a little bit different, but we'll talk about that later, okay? The next move is around the back, around the neck. Now this move is a little bit more complicated. Again, along with the helicopter and the flip-flop, this is one of the moves that a lot of students have a hard time with. Most of the time, if you go to tournaments and you see a first degree doing this form, this is one of the moves that they mess up on. When you're doing around the back, around the neck, it is essential that your Ssahng is not traveling more distance than it needs to be. What I mean by that is around the neck. Most people don't have a hard time with around the back, so when you start this move, you come down like a triangle, go around your back and catch. Now when I do that, all I'm doing is I'm putting both of my palms facing out. My thumbs are together, and that's how I come around here. And then all I do is switch my hands. Then when I come for around the neck, this is the hard part. What I want y'all to make sure that you're doing is you get your hand there ready first. Some students will try to make it happen at the same time like this. This is really hard. Okay, if somebody's going to throw a ball at you, do you stand here like this until the ball's right in front of you? And you go, "Ha, I'm ready." No. Right when they're about to throw it, you get ready to catch the ball. Not that I play any sports with balls. I have no idea how to catch balls. But I'm assuming if you're ready to catch a ball that you get ready before they throw it, right? Same thing with your sanjabang. I don't want you to try and throw it and catch it at the same time because that's really hard. I'd much rather you get your hand ready on your neck first, then take your other hand sanjabang and throw it around, okay? Now, one more time, nice and slow, and then I'll talk about another big mistake that students tend to make. Mistake. So we're going to be here, down like a triangle, around to the back and catch. Again, hands are facing palm out. Then I switch my sanjabang to my other hand, get it around your neck, get your hand ready, and then around the neck. Notice when I'm throwing it around my neck, I'm not coming up at an angle and trying to do it. If I come up at an angle, I'm going to have more of a tendency to hit my back rather than go straight and hit my hand. So you definitely want to make sure that you're going straight across with the around the neck throw. Now, one of the huge, biggest mistakes that students make on this move is they put their hand and arm at the wrong position as they're going around the neck. What I mean by that is instead of the sanjabang arm, the sanjabang hand going on top of this one. While my hands are across my neck, my arms are making an X, okay? What some students try to do is they'll go underneath their arm here, okay? This is not correct. Though you might have been doing it for a while, this is wrong. It is much harder to do and much more riskier to do. Please don't do it this way. I'll show you. I don't like showing y'all, but this is the wrong way how to do it. So when you go around the neck, you want to make sure you go on top of that arm so that both hands are touching your neck. If I go below this arm, I can't even catch it. Nope. There you go. Look how much distance my hands have to travel. The sanjabang has to travel. My sanjabang has to travel from right here underneath my arm to right here on my neck. That is a gigantic difference when you compare it to right here. When I just come around my neck, my sanjabang only has to travel around my neck. But if I go underneath my arm, now my sanjabang has to travel a lot further, and it's much more riskier. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing this move correctly. So again, it's down like a triangle, behind the back, palms facing out, hand gets ready, other hand goes on top, around the neck, all right? Now, moving on to the next move is our flip-flop, all right? When we do our flip-flop, there's one way to kind of learn the movement, and there's a correct way to do it. So when you do your flip-flop, thumb is going to be facing down. You are going to throw your sanjabang and catch it in the other hand on your pinky side. So I'm going to throw over and catch it on my pinky side. Then I'm going to let go of the top hand, bring my right hand over my shoulder right here. And I pull this other sanjabang around my shoulder and hit myself in the face. No. You're going to pull it and catch it into your other hand. Okay. So, yeah, that happens when you're going slow. So.
Sorry, sir.
No, you're fine. So, flip-flop. Again, pinky side, throw over, catch. As you release this hand, your right hand, it comes underneath, on top of your shoulder. The sanjabang comes underneath and goes into your arm, all right? That's the correct way how to do it. To kind of get the motion down, what I do for my students is I say, don't do it over your shoulder first because you're going to hit yourself in the head a lot, just like I did. Instead of practicing on your shoulder to get the movement down, just do it right in front of you, right here. So I go 1, flip this hand over, 2. Get the movement down, get the motion down here before you start to go over the shoulder. It's the same motion other than you having your shoulder in the way and your head right beside you for you to miss. So you want to make sure that if you are new to this move, that you kind of start doing this movement in front of you. Then you move on to doing it over your shoulder, all right? So we've already talked about the 3 scary moves that are in this form: our helicopter, our around the back, around the neck, and our flip-flop. Those are the 3 hardest moves inside this form that students mess up on. You want to make sure that if you are practicing, you practice those 3 moves diligently and consistently so you don't mess those up, okay?
You have 11 people, sir, watching.
I'm sorry?
You have 11 people watching.
11.
Would you like to know who they are?
I would like to know who they are.
Allie Boyster.
Allie! Hi, Allie.
Tyler Hare.
Tyler.
Caleb Knight.
Caleb.
Liam Hofhaus.
Liam.
Jacob Mace.
Jacob Mace. Doesn't he do bow staff?
I'm not sure what he's doing. Shay and Killian.
Shane killed me off.
Sarah Copus.
Sarah, okay.
Miss Flores, who has a request that you do the full form.
That's happening at the end, Mrs. Flores.
Your mom.
Yeah, my mom doesn't count.
Miss Maria.
Miss Maria doesn't count.
Miss Snyder.
I'm Miss Snyder.
Miss Schweizer.
Mrs. Schweizer.
Neelam and Nilish.
Manilish.
And Mr. Sister.
Mr. Sister, like the one in the back
Yeah.
office right now.
And Mr. Mitchell.
And Mr.
Danny Mitchell.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all for joining in. I know for a fact we are missing a ton.
Miss Samantha Stewart. So 14 now.
There you go. I like it. So thank y'all for joining in and listening. Again, this video will be up, I believe, for a week, just like all the other classes, so that if you know somebody that's not here right now that Senior Master didn't say, definitely let them know to come watch this, okay? So we're going to hit the last 2 moves, 3 moves, and then we will move on and do some of the form and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. That's what I was supposed to say. Cool. So the next move that we're going to talk about is a lasso strike. A lasso strike is a variation of the triangle strike, just with an extra move. So what we're doing on the lasso strike is actually hitting your target twice. So I'm taking my lasso, I come around and I hit him right across the face horizontally first. So I hit and then go around my head and finish with a triangle. And of course, while we do that, I'm actually going to be advancing forwards with a jump spin. So when I do it, I pick up my back knee and I smack him across the face at the same time. Here. Then when I come around to land, I finish it off with that second triangle. Okay? You want to make sure that you're only doing 1 spin above your head, that you're not... Do not twirl. This is not it. It is a strike, not a spin. So I strike and go around my head, and I strike on the way down. Okay? Do not make it a twirl up here. It is not a twirl. Okay? The next move is our throw catch. Before we go over the throw catch, I want to make sure that everybody here knows that the throw catch move is actually a block. It is not a strike, it is a block. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing my sanjabong into my front hand. Then I take my sanjabong and I take my left hand, y'all's right, and I'm going to bring it underneath, point it towards my nose, and then I go over my shoulder. Here, okay? During that movement of going to my shoulder, that's where the block happens. So I'm actually blocking with the string of the weapon, the middle of the sanjabong. So I'm here, catch, rotate in, and here's the block. Boom. Then, right after your throw catch is your chin pop, chin pop. When you're doing a chin pop, it starts right here on your shoulder. You're going to release the top hand and then switch shoulders. While doing that, you hit them right underneath the chin. Boom. And then other hand grabs underneath your arm again. Release the top one. Boom. Right underneath the chin again. So we're hitting them right here. So when you're doing it quick, if you ever watch any old Bruce Lee movies, Bruce Lee loves chin pops. He also likes holding it right under his arm like this, which looks cool, but it's not in the form. I've mailed many letters to ATA requesting them to put it underneath their arm like this. They just won't. So again, when you're doing your chin pops, it comes underneath. Release the top. 1, 2. Okay. Again, don't do that. So when you're here, underneath. 1, 2. Cool. So that is every single one of the moves, basic moves for this form. If you're new to this, definitely practice the basic moves first and then jump into the form. So that's actually what we're going to do right now. We're going to jump into the form and we're going to go through it together Again, calling out some of the big parts that students mess up on, some harder parts, things for y'all to remember, and things like that, okay? So, when we start our form, is this good? I don't know where you need to be now. Cool. So, when we start our form, you're going to back. You're going to show off the weapon, bring it to both arms, step out with your right leg, and press down Jumbi. Then, as you start your form, all you're going to do is you're going to keep, don't release it. You're going to keep your Sanjabong in the same position and come up. And then Sanjabong straight, step backwards with your right leg into a back stance, keeping the Sanjabong still in front of you. Then I will bring the Sanjabong across, back to my arm, left hand pops out, okay? While your right hand is doing all of the cool Sanjabong moves, your other hand is always going to stay in a knife hand strike position right in front of you. Back in the day, when I did lessons with Mr. Ssahng, we always said keeping this razor sharp. It's like a knife. Wah, wah, wah. You remember that, Mr. Ssahng? What? Nope. Yes. So, again, we're right here. Then we're going to go ahead and do the first 5 moves a couple of times. So we're going to move forwards, triangle. 1, triangle. 2, triangle. 3. While you're still in the stance, while your hand is still up, helicopter. And then again, striking in front of you, V-strike. Okay? Now, notice the footwork on the V-strike. I'll turn sideways so that y'all can see. As I'm doing my V-strike, I do advance forwards. I don't stand still. So I do my first strike, boom. As I come up to my front shoulder, I step together, and then my left leg steps forward.
Keep going.
Yes, ma'am. Are you okay?
Yes.
All right.
Just hit a button.
Oh, okay. Great. So let's do it again. As you're doing your V-strike, I start in my back stance. I do the first strike without moving. Here. As I come up to my shoulder, I step together, and then I step out again, same leg, for the second strike, okay? During these first 5 moves, you want to make sure that you're not moving your stance a whole lot, you're not moving your hand a whole lot. It takes an immense amount of control to make sure that your body is not moving. The only thing that's really moving is your front leg as you slide forwards, as well as your Sanjabong hand, okay? You really don't want a whole lot of other things moving. So, again, I'll do it facing y'all, and then I'll do it sideways so that y'all can see that way. So, I start, bow, show off your weapon, Jumbi, Si-jat, you bring your Sanjabongs up, straight, step back, to the side, over the shoulder, hand comes out in front, razor sharp. Then you do 3 triangles moving forwards. 1, 2, 3. Without moving anything else, helicopter. V-strikes, striking forwards. Here. Okay? Good. So now I'll kind of do it going this way so that y'all can check it out. One of the biggest things that you see during these first 5 moves is they'll start moving with their back stance. Here, here, and here. And you'll start to see that back leg, that back knee start to dip in. Again, you want to make sure that you're pressing your weight backwards into your back stance so that your back knee stays over that back foot. So I'll do the first 5 moves for y'all. Here, 3 triangles. 1, 2, 3. Again, that back knee is still over that foot. Helicopter without moving anything. And a V-strike striking forwards. Here. There you go. Okay. So the next 2 moves in the form after triangle, 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 helicopter, V-strike are moves that you are not going to move your feet at all. You stay in that nice back stance as you do these. Now, it is it's one of the scary moves that we talked about, both of them. It's around the back, around the neck, and flip-flop, back to back. So again, if you're training at home, you don't have to do your form 1,000 times, though it would make you better. I would definitely suggest if you're just practicing moves, practice around the back, around the neck, with your flip-flop, okay? So make sure that you're practicing both of those together because that's how it is in the form. Doing it in a stance is also great, but like I said, you don't actually move your feet. So you need to make sure that you're able to catch it first, then do it in the stance. So here, again, looking forwards around the back. Notice what my hand does. My hand doesn't go back immediately here. My hand stays out until I'm ready for my hand to get back there. Then I get my hand ready around the neck. Hand comes back out. Then my hand comes, then my hand comes here, boom, for my flip-flop. Okay, right after my flip-flop is done, my hand gets right back up once again, okay? I have a terrible habit, everybody watching. My pinky comes out all the time. Please don't do this. Who said it?
It's his fault. He does that.
Well, I shouldn't say that, though, should I?
No.
Okay.
But I just...
Okay. So, again, please make sure, guys, when I'm doing the knife hand, I have a tendency to accidentally do this. Please make sure your pinky is together, especially if you're doing this. I heard a really, really good training drill for that. I had a student who's now a second degree, but she trained this weapon a lot, and she actually won world champion with it. But she used to put sugar packets in between each of her fingers while she was training, and if she dropped a sugar packet, she had to do like push-ups or something. You could do the same thing with pieces of paper and everything like that. So make sure you keep your fingers together as you're doing it.
Miss Flores asked, is your thumb bent or not?
To the side. Just like a knife hand. It's just on the side of your hand. It's not this. If you're asking if it's like a ridge hand, that's not correct. It's just on the side of your hand right here like a knife hand. And if you're asking if it's on the side bent or not, I don't think that matters. So the judges aren't going to get all up in hootenanny about your thumb bent or not on the side. As long as your thumb isn't tucked in, but it is on the side of your hand right there, okay? Is that hootenanny?
Hootenanny.
Hootenanny. All right. Go. So, again, around the back, around the neck, just making sure that your hand stays up where it needs to be here. Boom, boom. Hand comes back up. Then comes down. 1, 2. All right? There you go. So, next two moves is going to be our lasso strike and throw catch. During these moves, you're going to be advancing forwards while spinning. So that is a big, big, big issue with this because a lot of students have a tendency to get off line. So if you have somewhere in your house or your garage or your backyard where you can put down a straight line with tape or something, or if you have a driveway and you already have a line on your driveway, use that line as you practice these moves, okay? I'll be doing it towards y'all. When you do that lasso strike, it's so important that you land on that line. So I'm here, I come around, boom, land, and I land on that same line, all right? Again, if you come offline a little bit, that's okay, all right? The big part that I'm wanting y'all to make sure you understand is if you're at a tournament and you end up not in the middle, and instead of right in front of the center judge, you end up way to the left or way to the right, that's points off right there because you did not end and do the form properly. Now, if you're off like 2 inches, you're fine, okay? But I do want y'all to make sure you're training that lasso strike, staying on that middle line right there. Same thing with the throw catch. So after I finish my lasso, my hand goes out, catch the sanjabong in front of you. A lot of students, they'll tend to do this. They'll put their hand out for the throw catch, and then they'll begin to turn and catch the sanjabong to the side. This is wrong. Do not listen to them. They're wrong. Okay, make sure you catch it right in front of you. So I'm here, hand goes out, throw sanjabong, boom. Catch it in front of you. Now you can start your spin here. And again, I stay on that line. Right before this leg lands, my left leg lands, I do the block. Okay? I'll do it again a couple of times. So again, I'm starting in my back stance. Hand goes out. Sanjabong is caught. Now I can start my turn. Boom. Hand and foot timing. Or hand and sanjabong timing. Then I do my 2 chin pops. Again, kind of like we talked about with the V-strike. A lot of students, since we're in a back stance now, they'll do their chin pops this way. It's forwards. All right, so I do my throw catch. I'm hitting the person in front of me, my target. 1, 2, finish with a triangle. All right? Then I start my other side. So again, starting that back stance, hand goes out, catch it first, then go block. Stay on that straight line, still in a back stance, chin pop in front of you. 1, 2, triangle in front of you. All right? Now, with that lasso, strike, and throw, catch, I also want to talk about the stance that you're landing into. Because we're moving forwards and advancing, you want to make sure that I don't do the lasso strike and land with a lot of my weight onto my front leg. Excuse me. I want to make sure I land still in that nice back stance with most of my weight on my back leg and knee directly above my foot. All right? Let's do it again. Cool. So, there you go. So that was kind of the whole first half of the form. Now we're going to go through move by move, and we're going to do the entire form together. Whether you don't know this form or whether you already know this form really, really well, I still want you to rock through it with me on my pace, listening to everything, the big problems and the big issues that a lot of people have. Make sure that you're not one of those people having those issues, okay? So let's do it together, the whole form. Do you think it'd be easier for me to go sideways or forwards?
Let's do it both ways. Let's do it both ways.
Okay. Yes, okay. So the first time we're going to do the form, I'm going to come right towards y'all, and then we're going to do the form one more time together, and I'll go sideways so that y'all can see different angles, okay? So first time, let's do it right towards y'all, okay? So again, starting from the beginning, bowing, oh, one small thing. When you are starting this form and you're at a tournament, all right, this form is designed in a straight line. That means you're going to hit the judges. I highly recommend, actually I don't even recommend, y'all need to. Every single time you do this at a tournament, you bow in the middle of the ring. When the judge says Jumbi, you're going to raise your hand and you're going to say permission to adjust. And all that means is that you can move around the ring. Don't do weird things, but all you're going to do is you're going to go straight back to the back of the ring and then get into Jumbi, all right? If you don't do that, you will hit the judges or be uncomfortably close to them to where you have to change what you're doing so you don't hit them. You do not get extra points for hitting judges. Actually, most people say you lose points for hitting the judges, okay? Do not hit the judges. So you want to make sure you always adjust. So you go backwards, and then you, or one more star, and you do your Jumbi. Pop. Here. Ssahng Bong comes up, straight, step back into your straight line. Ssahng Bong stays in front of you. Comes to the side, over, hand pops out. Now, with the hand, you want to make sure that you don't have your elbow up like this. If you have tight shoulders, your elbow is going to pop out like this because it's more comfortable. You want to make sure, just like a double knife hand at a form block, it's not this, it's straight. So make sure that elbow is down. Then you do your 3 triangles. 1, 2, 3, striking in front of you. Helicopter. V-strike, striking in front of you. Around the back, around the neck. Hand comes up in the middle. Flip-flop. Lasso strike, staying on line. Hand pops out. Throw, catch around. Block. Chin pop to the front of you. Chin pop to the front of you. Hand comes up. Now notice my hand isn't over here or behind me. Although it is in my right hand, I'm still taking care of the target right here. So I'm not going to keep my hand up to block over here or over there. I'm going to keep my hand up where my target is. Do my last triangle. Then I do the second half. So then I turn here, nice back stance, 3 triangles. 1, 2, 3. Helicopter. V-strike, striking in front of you. Around the back. Around the neck. Hand comes up in the middle. Flip, flop. Lasso strike, staying on line. Hand comes out. look, turn, final triangle. Okay? Now, a lot of students, when you see them doing the form, they'll forget the triangles after the chin pops. Chin pop, and then they'll turn and start the next half. Do not forget that triangle. So after I do my 2 chin pops, 1, 2, take care of that guy first, then you can turn around, all right? So I'm going to do the form one more time, and I'm going to go sideways this time, okay? If y'all have any questions about the moves I'm doing, please ask it now so Senior Master can let me know after the form, and I can answer them, okay? So, I'm going to be sideways. Just good?
Sure.
Okay. So, again, down, ATA. If you're in the tournament, permission to adjust. I'm not going to adjust. Present, grab, right leg steps out. I step backwards, or not yet. I bring the Ssahng up, straight, step back, to the side, over. Left hand pops out. 3 triangles going forwards. 1, 2, 3. Helicopter. V-strike in front of you. Around the back, around the neck. Hand comes up in the middle. Flip, flop. Lasso. Hand comes out, throw, catch, go. Block. Chin pop 1, chin pop 2. Hand is up to this side. Triangle. Turn and start. 1, 2, 3 triangles. Helicopter. V-strike to the front of you. Around the back. Around the neck. Hand comes up in the middle. Flip, flop. Striking in front, staying on line. Lasso strike. Hand comes out, throw, catch, go. Block. Chin pop 1, chin pop 2. Hand is up, triangle 1. Look, turn, triangle 2. There you go. That's the whole form. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, guys. So if y'all have any questions about this form or any questions about the moves, please message me, post it on Facebook. I can answer any questions that y'all do have. Yes, ma'am.
One time. Full force.
Yes, ma'am. You want it sideways or forwards?
Let's go sideways if they get a better view of what you're doing
Yes,
sideways.
You want me to go fast?
Regular, what you would do if you were competing. So they can get Ms. Flores wants the rhythm and timing of it.
Okay.
We didn't get that part, sir.
Other than the drop. There you go, guys. So if y'all have any questions, please message me or post it on Facebook, and I'll make sure to answer anything y'all have.
Thanks, sir.